Serene viewers, I'm Lakshmi Devi. The joyful Indian people pray that heaven's light fills your life with eternal love, bliss, and happiness. Sri Sarda Devi, the Holy Mother, was the divine consort and first disciple of Sri Ramakrishna Paramhansa. She conveyed a motherly simplicity, grace, quiet dignity, purity, selflessness, and all-embracing compassion, all of which provided comfort to her disciples and devotees. The Holy Mother is revered by Hindus as much as the mystic Sri Ramakrishna. She is thus worshipped and admired as one of the most important saint mothers of all times. Her divine ecstasies, cultivation of humility, love, unconditional service, modesty, and other noble qualities made her a role model for others as she showed how one can rise above the turmoil and worry of this ephemeral world and enjoy inner peace in daily life. The Holy Mother demonstrated that such transcendence is possible through a oneness with both the happiness and the suffering of others. At the same time, she often practiced restraint when speaking of her inner feelings and experiences, as she said, "The excessive manifestation of divinity creates fear in the minds of devotees. They cannot feel intimate." The Holy Mother is considered an uplifter of souls, who maintained communion with God at all times, even while engaging in various daily activities. To her disciples, she was a teacher who removed their doubts, a mother whose loving kindness brought comfort, and a divine presence that assured them of spiritual liberation. Thus Spake the Holy Mother is a compilation of the sayings of Sri Sarda Devi. This collection offers illumination and guidance for the soul yearning to reconnect with the divine. We now would like to share with you the uplifting sayings of Sri Sarda Devi through an excerpt from Thus Spake the Holy Mother. Spiritual practice. Spiritual practice means to keep the mind steady at His lotus feet and to be absorbed in His thoughts. When the desire arises in the mind to know anything, then pray to Him alone in a lonely place with tears in your eyes. He will remove all dirt and sorrow from your mind and will make you understand everything. Always discriminate. Try to realize that the outside object which is attracting your mind is impermanent and turn your attention to God. Always try to do the Lord's work and at the same time try to practice japa, repeating holy mantras or God's name, and meditation. If you do such work, your mind will not be obsessed with evil thoughts. If you sit alone idly, all sorts of thoughts may come and disturb your mind. You are fortunate as you have got this human body. Pray to the Lord as much as you can. You must labor hard. It is difficult to attain anything without labor. Some time must be daily set apart for prayer and spiritual practices, even though one is in the midst of worldly activities. While performing japa, take the name of God with the utmost love, sincerity, and self-surrender. Before commencing your meditation daily, First, think of your utter helplessness in this world, and then slowly begin the practice of sadhana, disciplined and dedicated spiritual practice, as directed by your Guru. Through the spiritual disciplines, the ties of the past karma are cut asunder. But the realization of God cannot be achieved without prema bhakti, ecstatic love for Him. Do you know the significance of japa and spiritual practices? By these, the power of the sense organs is subdued. My child, austerities or worship, practice all these things right now. Will these things be possible later on? Whatever you want to achieve, achieve it now. This is the right time. To pray to God and meditate on Him for even 2 minutes with full concentration is better than doing so for long hours without that. All perform this or that discipline because they think it their duty to do so. But how many seek God? No doubt you must do your duties. It keeps one's mind in good condition. But it is also very necessary to practice japa, repeating holy mantras or God's name, meditation and prayer. One must practice these disciplines at least in the morning and in the evening. Such practice is like the rudder of a boat. When one sits in the evening for prayer, one can discriminate whether one has done good or bad things in the course of the day. Then one should compare the mental state of that day with that of the previous one. Next, while performing japa, one should meditate on one's chosen ideal. In meditation, one first sees the face of one's chosen deity, but one should try to meditate on the entire body from the feet upward. Unless you practice meditation side by side with your work, how will you know whether you're doing the desirable or the undesirable thing? The conjunction of the day and the night is the most auspicious time for calling on God. The mind remains pure at this time. Even in the midst of the most intense activities, one should at least remember God and adore Him. Gradually increase the time of meditation and prayer. The mantra purifies the body. Man becomes pure by repeating the name of God. So repeat His name always. If you do good action, that will counteract your past evil actions. Past sins can be counteracted by meditation, japa, and spiritual thought. The moon in the sky is covered by a cloud. The cloud has to be removed by the wind by degrees. Then only one can see the moon. Does it pass all of a sudden? Similarly with spiritual perfection. The effects of past work are exhausted slowly. When one realizes God, He grants knowledge and illumination from within. One knows it oneself. In the fullness of one's spiritual realization, one will find that He who resides in one's heart resides in the hearts of others as well. The oppressed, the persecuted, the untouchable, and the outcast. This realization makes one truly humble. God is one's very own. The more intensely a person practices spiritual disciplines, the more quickly he attains to God. God has given us fingers that they may be blessed by repeating His name with them. The almanac makes a forecast of rain, but you do not get a drop by squeezing its pages. Besides, the scriptures are filled with many useless things. One cannot observe to the letter the injunctions of the scriptures. In this Kali Yuga, one attains to God if one simply sticks to truth. The Master used to say, "He who speaks nothing but truth is lying on the lap of God." Most splendid viewers, thank you for your company on today's selections from Thus Spake the Holy Mother, Vegetarian, Part 2 of 2 on Words of Wisdom.